Okay. In the 90s, I started my first practice, and it was going along very well from the beginning. But after a few years, I began to notice something. The same patients would come in every week or two for me to adjust Atlas and T7, and they would get relief and go their merry way and loved chiropractic. But as time went by, they were getting bigger and sicker, and then I began to suspect that there might be another component to the entire health picture than just detection and correction of vertebral subluxation. So at that time, I was in my climb every mountain phase, seriously studying every resource that I could get in the area of holistic nutrition. What's that thing about the harder you work, the luckier you get? I was extremely fortunate at that time to find as mentors, turned out to be mentors, 5 of the top people in the world in several different areas, and I worked with them and they trained me. One of these guys was Richard Anderson, ND, the naturopath. Has anybody ever heard of him? He was the expert in colon detox. He's still around. He has a book, we'll talk about it. This was my primary influence here. Dr. Stan Bynum, PhD, the successor to Edward Howell's National Enzyme Company, who became the president of National Enzyme Company. Bynum took it over. He was the world's expert on enzyme supplements at that time. Bynum left the National Enzyme Company and founded his own company in Phoenix, Arizona, and he called that Infinity. Bynum was the source. I was so lucky to get him at that time because he was teaching classes on bioterrain analysis, which is live cell. Does anybody know what that is? Okay, you have a microscope with a camera. The camera goes into a video screen, right? You take one drop of blood. You take one drop of blood from the person's finger. You put it on the microscope slide. You see the blood on the screen. And then we were trained to look for the typical imbalances, which include aggregation of the cells, misshapen cells, free radical damage, cholesterol, crystals, other debris, specific debris that we were trained to identify. But Bynum did something that other people who do bioterrain analysis did not do. He taught us to do the before and after test. So at this time, this guy had taken a lifetime of experience and had formulated the best digestive enzyme supplement. Well, you had to fast for 4 hours. We got your blood's on the screen. We record that. We move all around the slide. We record it. Then we give the patient 3 enzymes and water. Wait 30 minutes, and then we retest, and then we see a dramatic difference. The red cells will separate. Now, in my full-day seminar, I show examples of this. I have slides of this. I went with Bynum to Asia on 4 separate occasions where we did like hundreds of these tests. That was where I learned what the term stressed really means. Stress does not mean you just found out your mother-in-law is coming over for the weekend. That's not stressed. Stressed means you live your life hovering between life and death. That's stress, like you know. A lot of people live like that. So I would take the blood tests of people in the middle of chemotherapy, and then you would look at their blood. It would not even resemble human blood. It would look like STP motor oil or something like that. But then the most astounding thing is you give them Bynum's enzymes, wait 30 minutes, and the blood resembles normal red blood cells again, normal erythrocytes. That was astounding. Does anybody know who this handsome gentleman is? Sedona, Arizona. Going once, going twice, Dr. Patrick Flanagan. Okay, before Flanagan, the best antioxidants in the world were made from pycnogenols from grape seed and pine bark. That's what we used before he came out with Mega Hydrate in the 90s, sometime in the 90s, yeah, mid-90s. And tiny little capsules, just 2 of them will neutralize all the free radicals in an adult's body for 4 or 5 hours. I don't say that, literally. I've seen that happen before my very eyes hundreds of times, because free radicals do a very distinctive thing to red blood cells in your body, in the serum. The normal red blood cell should be perfectly round and smooth. If you have an excess of free radicals all day, every day from your toxic, pot smoking, bong hitting, or, toxic food lifestyle, right? These free radicals, they're constantly attacking the cell membrane, causing the characteristic lumps and bumps look on the cell membrane. So the amazing, astounding thing is when you give a powerful antioxidant to a patient like that, who has like 60 or 80% of his cells looking like, lumps and bumps on them, it can be corrected because you neutralize all those free radicals with the antioxidant, allowing the cells to relax to their normal original conformation. I didn't believe that at first till I saw it for a few hundred times. Anyway, this guy's a boy genius. It took him 12 years isolated in his lab in Sedona to invent the 43-step process that makes up megahydrate. No one can duplicate it. There's nothing like it. And this is Dr. Kem Shahani. He was the recognized global authority on probiotics. He spent his life studying them and developing a formula. It took him forever to do it. He published in JAMA like 25 times. These guys were my mentors during the 90s. Something happened to all of them. I mean, each separate story is a different long story. Something happened to all of them, but I knew their formulas and I knew their sources by then. I was able to put this together into the program that we have today, called the 60-day program. So it turns out that the autism detox protocol is the same thing as the 60-day program. It's just the dosages are cut down for the little child. Okay, this 60-day program is classically simple. It consists of a very obvious healthy diet, which we'll go over, and 7 supplements. The way I was trained by Bynum and my other mentors was, as far as supplementation goes, first of all, did you know that 90% of the supplements on the internet and on GNC are manufactured either directly or indirectly by whom? Very good, very good. They spend more money on the label than they do on what's inside. They're trying to cut costs, right? There's a smaller subset of supplements that have some nutritional value, and there's yet a very small subset of that we actually need in order to go from a toxic state to a state of glowing holistic health. So Bynum always taught us, as far as supplements go, taking the least number of supplements possible, spending the least amount of money on supplements, but still maintaining complete bioavailability, complete cell health in all the tissues. Clear the tract, clear the blood, clear the cells. This is my problem with process. They chase symptoms. I call it alternative light. They chase symptoms just like the medical doctors do with drugs, but they chase them with supplements. They have too many supplements. Or like GNC. You walk into GNC, there's 5,000 products there. You ask the guy who worked there, who worked at Payless Shoes the week before, what do you got for arthritis? So